You are honest, Vince Cable. Some people refer to you as Saint Vince Cable.
Not me, though.
Yet no, I understand that, nor your wife, I'm told either. But so far you've produced the most dishonest poster of the campaign. You criticise the Tories for secretly planning to increase VAT, yet you yourself refuse to rule it out, which is all the Tories do as well. That's not the new politics.
Well, we don't rule it out. That's quite true.
You didn't say might or could, Mr. Cable. You said will, is going to happen.
Is going to have to
So
happen.
it's not,
Yes,
but now you're saying it's a might or a could. Well, you might increase it as well. Mr. Darling might increase it if he's still Chancellor. So I don't understand the difference.
It was a perfectly legitimate debating point to say that...
it was a debating point.
It was a perfectly legitimate debating point.
Well, when you talk about debating points, I mean, you do seem to be quite opportunistic. You have a great reputation for being honest, but actually, at the start of this campaign, you said the increase in national insurance was schoolboy economics. You thought it was nauseating, that the businessmen were coming out against it.
Defend both of them.
Well, then, yes, but you produce a manifesto a week later that says that you too would like to withdraw the national insurance rise.
No, we have not committed ourselves to
You have said in the manifesto you would like to...
Well, let me quote Stephanie in the manifesto.
Yeah.
You would say that you would like to reverse it, quote, when resources allow, we would seek to reverse it.
Yes. Well,
that's the nauseating schoolboy economics you've just attacked.
No, not at all.
Any voter listening to you at the beginning of the campaign would think, they're actually supporting the government on this. And a week later, oh, hang on, no, they're not supporting the government. It's very unclear to get your position.
No, you've actually read the extract quite correctly, that it's not a desirable tax increase, but there aren't funds to reverse it, so we endorse, we accept the government.
Vince Cable, you have dined out on a reputation for honesty and being more far-seeing in this economic crisis than Mr. Darling and Mr. Osborne. But in October 2008, you said it was entirely wrong for the government to stimulate the economy with more public spending. 4 months later, you said that the government was right to stimulate it. You described quantitative easing, printing of money, as the Robert Mugabe School of Economics. You later supported it. You originally supported the Lloyds TSB takeover of HBOS, and then you claimed that Lloyds was being dragged down by HBOS. You told the government not to tell the Bank of England what to do about interest rates. A few weeks later, you urged the government to tell the bank what to do about interest rates. Isn't the biggest myth of this election your reputation?
It certainly isn't a myth on the 4 points you've mentioned. One of them, which was the Lloyds HBOS takeover, I genuinely changed my mind having seen the evidence.
What about Robert Mugabe?
That was not a change of view. I don't know whether you ever read the article. Well, the point I was trying to make, which is a perfectly sensible one, was that if you resort to the deliberate creation of money, quantitative easing, it has dangers.
But you do support the policy.
I do support the policy, and I support
Why
it
would you
from
call
the
it
very
Robert
outset.
Mugabe then, if you support the policy?
No,
I mean, a country with inflation of 1,000%.
If you'd actually read the article
I have read the article, as you know, I've interviewed you on this before.
In a tone of irony to illustrate what would happen if it was not properly managed.
Well, you know,
but I fully supported it from the very outset.
Stephanie Flanders.
It does make it sound like a bad thing. If you look back, we've given you, a lot of people have given you credit for warning about rising debt levels, and I can certainly say you were giving speeches about that in the last few years. You weren't warning about subprime, but you were warning about some of these things. But it's fair to say, looking back, you didn't have a single major proposal for dealing with that, did you? I mean, it was all talk, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't all talk.